What's going on, guys? I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to my channel if you're new. If you're already subscribed, welcome back to my channel. As you just saw in the previous clip, I have unboxed my iPad. I figured I would split this clip up into two sections so that way you guys could watch the unboxing if you wanted to, and if you felt like it, you could stick around for sort of my review and comparison of the iPad Air 4 versus the iPad 10.2 inch 7th generation. So I did upgrade to the iPad Air 4 from the iPad 10.2 inch 7th generation, and I do use it primarily for note-taking as a student as well as for my YouTube channel. And I figured that I would make this video in case there are any other students out there who are kind of torn between spending the extra money to get the iPad Air 4 or just going with the basic 10.2 inch 8th generation model. So the main reason for me upgrading is a couple of reasons. So I will talk about those, and then I will also talk about some of the dislikes that I have specifically about the iPad Air 4 as well as the screen protector that I have on it. So I don't want to keep you guys waiting. I will get right into the comparison. So the first positive thing that I really like about the iPad Air 4 is the new design, the fact that they have taken away the home screen button and they have given us the lighter bezels and the iPad Pro inspired display. I think that it looks a lot more sleek and it is just a more cohesive design, especially when you're paying a bit more money for this iPad. I think that it really ties together the more budget end of the iPads with the better designed look of the iPad Pro, and it really gives you that meet in the middle option, especially when you are looking for that productivity and you're not willing to compromise on design. Another thing that I really enjoy about the iPad Air is the ability to quickly go through my notes versus going through them on my 10.2 inch iPad 7th generation. So even though the 7th generation is actually a year old and they are currently on the 8th generation, I don't think that there has been much of a difference in terms of functionality. So that is one of the things that I definitely did want to touch on, is the fact that the 10.2 inch is very delayed when I'm going through my notes, and the iPad Air is extremely quick when I'm going through my notes. So when I'm going through a workbook of notes that I had handwritten, the iPad Air goes through it very fast, while my 10.2 inch has always lagged behind. And I do understand that it is a more budget end, so you're not going to get the productivity and the increased speed as you are with the iPad Air, but it is really hard to go through my notes, and especially when I'm doing time test or I have something where I'm really in a hurry and I need to find something in my notes that I have written down and I wait for a page to load and it ends up not being on that page. It's just a huge hassle to deal with. So as you can see, there is a major difference in the loading speed, and this is just through GoodNotes right here of me going through my algebra notebook and getting to a page that I need to find. So one thing that I actually do want to say was a surprise to me, and I did want to mention it because I don't think it was mentioned anywhere in all the reviews that I watched on the iPad Air 4, and I actually had to look it up on Google when I experienced it myself before I heard anything about it. So one of the biggest things of the iPad Air versus the previous generation, or actually the current generation 10.2 inch, is the laminated display on the 10.2 inch. So when you're writing on the iPad Air, you will notice that there's actually pressure marks in the screen because the display is not laminated and you are touching the display so much closer with the pencil versus on the 10.2 inch. So this was definitely something that I had to get used to. It really kind of bugged me at first, especially because on my personal journal in GoodNotes, I like to use a dark background paper, and that's what makes it most evident is when you're using a dark background paper, you'll see these kind of small spots at the bottom that are like liquidy and moving around, and that's just because of the amount of pressure that's being applied by the Apple Pencil. So when this first happened, I thought that maybe my iPad was broken or I was applying too much pressure. So I Googled it, and people say that they experience it as well. It's what happens with the iPad Pro because of the display style, and it happens with the iPad Air now because of the same display style, and it's just the way that it is. It's not dangerous to the display as long as you're not putting an extreme amount of pressure on the display, but it is definitely something that you have to get used to, and it is something that I was not aware of coming into buying the iPad Air 4. If you are upgrading from one of the cheaper generation iPads that has the laminated display to an iPad Air or an iPad Pro, you will see that there are those marks when you're pressing on the screen with the Apple Pencil. And I tried to replicate these on my iPad 10.2 inch, and it was really hard. It took a lot of pressure for me to even get that, and it took very little pressure for me to get it on my iPad Air. So it's definitely something that was concerning at first, but upon further research, it is not something to be concerned about. It is just something that may be a strong preference one way or another. speaking of preferences, I am going to get into my last point, which is the screen protector that I used, and this is entirely a matter of preference. This is not a reflection of the iPad Air or the iPad 10.2 inch or anything like that, but I did want to talk about the screen protector. So with my iPad 10.2 inch, I had a screen protector that was matte, and when I had looked it up, it was considered to be like a paper feeling screen protector. So I bought that one back in March and I used it for all of my notes. It gave me really good control. It was really good for the traction between the Apple Pencil and the iPad screen, and overall I really enjoyed it. So when I got this iPad Air, I decided to get a matte screen protector for it as well, so that way I could have that same control with the Apple Pencil. Only this one was not the same kind. So the kind that I have on my 10.2 inch feels a little bit like sandpaper on my fingers, which was really weird at first, but I actually prefer it now because of the control that it gives you with the Apple Pencil. And the matte screen protector that I currently have on my iPad Air is very, very smooth. It does sound like paper very quietly when you're writing on it, but it doesn't really have that control that I like to have with the 10.2 inch screen protector. So I did want to mention that because that is definitely something that is kind of affecting my ability to take good notes and to draw and create decent stuff on my iPad. So I did go on Amazon to buy the same screen protector that I had on my 10.2 inch, and I found the specific brand. So I wanted to mention it. If you are someone who has a matte screen protector currently on your iPad and you're finding that it's not giving you that traction that you want, and you're really not getting the control that you want, I will link below the screen protector that I have on my 10.2 inch, which is a little more sandpapery. It is a little more textured, so it should give you the control that you want. And overall, it'll be a little bit different than like a standard matte screen protector. But I think that if you're using your iPad primarily for notes or creative stuff like that, and you're using the Apple Pencil, it is definitely a lot more comfortable than a paper feeling matte screen protector. So I will link that down below for you guys. If anyone is interested in that, they can check that out. But that concludes what I had to compare the iPad Air to the iPad 10.2 inch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I did want to say that my goal for 2021 is 500 subscribers. So if you guys would like to join the family and help me reach that goal, I would appreciate it so much. If you guys would like to see more iPad videos, I will be doing a what's on my iPad as well as how I customize my iPad. So make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. If you want to see that, make sure that you're subscribed. Comment down below anything else that you guys want to see, and if you're interested in budgeting, I do have a whole budget series going on where I do cash envelope stuffing as well as sinking funds, and I will be continuing that into the new year. And last thing, I will be launching my website soon, which will have iPad wallpapers as well as some budget templates for you guys to download completely free. So I will be launching that within the next couple of weeks. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell if you would like to be notified when that is posted. But yeah, guys, that's all I have. Thank you guys so much. And as always, stay happy, healthy, and enjoy the new year.